Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us on Unleashed with Kimberly, a conversation for insight and intelligence. We are in the midst of the Goddess docu-series where I'm bringing on the amazing goddesses from the Goddess platform, Unleash Your Inner Goddess. And we had their conversations overcoming negative limiting beliefs, obstacles, and traumas in their lives. And they are coming to you today live to share a little bit more and more about their business. I'm going to bring on Barbie Ray and Tamara Golden. And we do have Lupita Garcia coming on in a little bit. But ladies, she'll join us in a little bit, I guess. But let's start with you guys. I've got you. Barbie, you're like in the next one, Hollywood window style. So I'll just start with you. Why don't you share about what it is that you do?
Sure. Well, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I am a Barbie Ray. Yes, Barbie like the doll. And I am the CEO and creative director of Barbie Ray Design. So we know most small business owners are too busy or don't have the patience for DIY design. So I help them go from overwhelmed to overjoyed by taking the guesswork out of their visual brand. So with my company, we specialize in logo design, mainly in logo design, branding, and print design. So I like to help them really make the right first impression.
I love that. I love that. And we need that for sure. Tamara Golden. Tell us what you do.
So I'm just so excited, by the way. I have my goddess earrings on today. I have like special goddess earrings, so I'm feeling it totally. So I'm Tamara Golden, and I'm the owner and founder of Journey Work Retreats. And I actually work with coaches, healers, and transformation leaders to help them harness the magic power of in-person retreats to grow their business and also really accelerate impact for their clients. So that's what I'm all about, is in-person retreats. And I'm excited that we're getting back to those. Woot, woot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you.
Amen. Yes, it's so, I think that's one of the most important things too, is having those retreat. Obviously, we're having the Unleash Your Inner Goddess Women's Retreat coming up here in October, September, October. But something that's so important, and so many different industries can incorporate retreats into their business, which we can talk about a little bit more. But actually, let's just start there. Go ahead. How is it that all industries, I just love them too. And, you know, Barbie, even you could even do this. Like every single industry can incorporate a retreat somehow. It doesn't have to be this huge giant thing. It can be a real intimate, like mastermind retreat. So Tamara.
Well, it's actually, there's only really 3 components that you need to be able to do a retreat. And it sounds so simplistic, but it's actually true. So you need to have what I call proof of concept. And so, you need to have something that you're out there selling in the world that you've proven that people are willing to pay for. You've got a service or a product. The second thing is you've got to have some clients, because you can't have a business without them, and you can't have a retreat without them. So you've got to have some clients. And the third is you've got to have something some teaching component, educational component that you're actually going to be imparting or sharing with your participants on the retreat, because otherwise it's a vacation, right? So there has to be something that you facilitate. And it could be training, it could be some kind of like educational content that you're doing a deep dive on with them. Or like, Kimberly mentioned masterminding. It could be that you're facilitating and guiding a very structured, conversation that people are having, where they're doing some knowledge sharing, best practices sharing. So it really could just be one of those elements that you bring to the table. But you being in the place of facilitator is super important. With you, kind of like you're the hostess and you're leading the party, because it's your retreat, it's your show, and you get to bring your talents and your gifts and your brand to that retreat.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Barbie, would you go, I bet I could do this too?
Yeah, actually, I was like already noting in my head, okay, the 3 things that I need. So I'm going to go back and write this all down, because definitely, I think in some ways I do maybe like a mini mastermind or like mini workshops with my clients. I'm just getting to know them first, right? Because we do a deep dive, because I'm not just designing something to make it look beautiful, but I like to design with purpose, right? There's got to be a reason why we're doing what we're doing, and so a lot of times when I meet with my clients, it's about understanding, well, who are you? Who do you serve? And why does it matter? Right. So I think taking that deeper dive on the why portion, definitely, I think that's something I can help facilitate if we're doing consider a retreat or a mastermind. I think that's something I can kind of expand further upon. So thanks for dropping that seed in there.
Yeah, well, you could do like a whole like live your authentic brand retreat or something, and have them like if for people who are thinking of doing like a rebrand, to really do that deep dive in like who are they, who do they serve, why does it matter, how are they allowing their authentic voice to shine through in everything from their branding, imaging to their copyright, and I think that's so many people are. Well, so many of I think our people in our circles and probably in Kimberly's audience are heart-centered entrepreneurs, and those things matter for us. We are the face of our business, and it's important that you get it right. That whole expression of who you are as it comes through in your logo, your colors, your copyright. I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir because Barbie, that's what you do, but I think that people don't understand how important that really is. I just was in a conference in Dallas last week, which, by the way, like 100 people in a room, the excitement, the electricity, it was like palpable. People were so excited to be in person again with, no masks and seeing smiles. And for those who were up for it, hugs and it was just fantastic. But I'm even thinking like now I need to do some rebranding and to be able to take people away from the day to day and do a deep dive so they can really wrap their head around that would be, phenomenal. Cause that's exactly the experience I just gave myself. And I came out with all these aha moments. So yeah, sister, you could do it. And so could a lot of others.
Yeah, no, this is great. And that's why I love being part of this community, right? The fact that we're here to support one another and also lean on each other's expertise, right? Because for me, it's always about collaboration over competition.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that was so good already.
Well, yeah, and just to your point, Barbie, like none of us, it can get lonely being an entrepreneur because a lot of us working on our own initiatives and we're like in our own head and in our own space, and it's so helpful to have other sister entrepreneurs to be able to bounce things off of. And I highly recommend that people get a coach or be in a mastermind or, find some opportunity to have other entrepreneurs that you can bounce ideas off of, because it's really important to get that feedback and get yourself out of your own head and say, hey, like, what do you think about this messaging? How does this land for you? Or what do you think about this logo? Like, what does it say to you? And like really get other feedback coming in, because that's super important. And collaboration over competition, great mantra. Yeah, Melinda just put that in. Awesome. I love that. And it is about collaborating, and it's also about lifting others as we climb, and helping the collective sisterhood, because we all are here to help each other and get ahead in our businesses and be successful in life and just be there for each other.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Lupita is having technical difficulties, so I'm like trying to get her the link. Isn't that the way?
It's part of life.
Technology is so awesome when it works, and it's such a bummer when it doesn't.
Right? It's like a curse at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It can be so frustrating too. I actually did a show one time, and the whole block went out with no electricity in my show. I was like, oh my God, I hope it's still running. And it still kept going. And I was like, hotspot on my phone, and there I was again. I was in sheer pain. So you can't account for that.
No, you just roll with the punches. That's all you got to do, right?
And they didn't miss a beat. They just kept talking. It was absolutely brilliant.
That'll test your professionalism right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It was so good. So Barbie, we talked about in the summit with your story about limiting beliefs. And that was a big part of your story. What would you tell somebody who's getting into business, whatever it may be in any industry, how to really help them get over that?
Right. Well, yeah, definitely for me, my biggest limiting belief was the whole imposter syndrome, right? Just not believing in myself and not knowing that I was good enough. And that's kind of why it took me a while to actually be in the position that I am now. So even though I went to school for graphic design, I did actually create a career of it until like many years later. I pursued more on the business side of things, working in corporate for many years. And it really wasn't until it was almost like an outside influence, which happened to be my husband, just really believing in me and seeing that there was an opportunity for me to work in the design industry that was one, closer to home, And because I've always been doing it on the side and everything. And it was like, you know what, this is your passion. I'm here to support you however I can. I know you can do this. And I was just kind of still like, oh, I don't know. And I just, you know what, I just got to take a leap of faith. And that's all you can do, right? Is just, like we talked about before, is just falling forward, right? You're not going to get it right the first time or anything. And I'm all about, you know, it's a progress over perfection, right? And then you just keep taking those little steps, and you do have to believe in yourself or have that support network to really help lift you up and get you moving forward. And I think, you know, if you have a desire, if you have that passion, and you know that you have something that can help serve others, do it. You know, there's no better time than now, because you know, the longer you wait, that opportunity could be gone and you can regret it. And so I would rather regret trying something than not trying something. So I say you just got to do it.
That's so important. So important. Tamara, I want to ask you that same question, but 1 second, I just want to introduce Lupita Garcia. Yay, you made it on.
Sorry about that, guys.
No,
Thank
that's okay. We're so happy you're here. Really
Thank you, guys.
No problem. Really quick, share what you do. I know you do a lot with the community, and then tomorrow we'll pop back over to you for that question.
Okay. Well, what I do is just help the community whenever there's a need. I try to fill it. But my target is a school of 657 kids, because they're below low income, and we give them presents every year. Every year for the past 4 years, 657 kids get presents for Christmas, Easter baskets, costumes for Halloween, and we also do Mother's Day pens. Flower pens for them, and as well as the community, they come out and help out as well, or if there's a need, anything that they need, we can try to fill it, because I have a good following. So in a nutshell, that's what I do.
I love that. That was great.
I'm trying to be short because I know we're short on time, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're perfect. And I just want to say that you really do help a lot in the community, and you're actually starting to look at creating a nonprofit while you're still doing all that you're doing. It's almost like you have it without the
the added bonuses of getting some extra help. Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you. Tamara, please, I would love for you, knowing your story and how I'm kind of the same question, because there's always some kind of limiting belief that every woman can resonate with. We all have that moment. Oh, am I good enough? Yes. Please.
Well, Barbie. So Barbie talked about having the imposter syndrome, and I think that's a huge one for entrepreneurs. I mean, this is my second, if not my third career. So definitely my second career, and I was a life and career coach, and I was a career coach in higher education, and I left when I was like at the top of my game. Right, I had been in that field for 20 years. Kicking ass, taking names. I was really good at what I did, and I had a really strong following among all my students, and I had private practice on the side. And then I went into travel, and I went into like event planning, retreat, travel, this whole space that I'm in now. And even though there were a lot of transferable skills that I brought with me, I was like a newbie. I had to learn all new vocabulary. I had to learn the travel industry. I had to learn, all this about being an entrepreneur. I mean, nobody taught me about being an entrepreneur. I had no mentorship. I had no role modeling in my family or in my circle of friends. So I had to learn the ropes that way. And there was a lot of that, like trial and error, frustration of that. And then there was a lot of imposter syndrome, because I felt like I had to I knew what it felt like to be on the top of my game. And I obviously was like learning all of these new skills and learning this new industry. And it took me probably 5 years before I felt like I was good enough, like I was accomplished, and I knew I was on top of my game, and I knew what I was doing and knew what I was talking about. But so I struggled with a lot of that imposter syndrome. I really get that. I think my limiting belief, it came up really deeply for me in 2020. And that was, some of the story that I shared with Kimberly in my interview was around really owning. It's sort of like getting a very clear vision of what my mission is in this lifetime, and just owning it unabashedly, unapologetically owning it. And then having the faith to walk through a year, because I was told I'm here to do in-person retreats. That is my magic. That is my gift. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help support the light workers, raise the energetic vibration of the planet through the platform of retreats, right? And I got that message so clearly and repeatedly, by the way, during the pandemic. And where I operate is at the juncture of gathering in person and travel. And what were the two things we couldn't do for a whole year plus?
Gather and travel.
I'm like, well, this sucks. So, I mean, you want to talk about having your faith tested, get a download from the universe that what you're here to do is what the outside world is telling you you cannot do. If you want to have your faith tested, my friends. So I really have my faith tested, but I'm here, like, I just got like, stay your course, stay your course, stay your course. And I stayed my course, and I felt like I was a crazy person. Stay your course, stay your course. And now we're starting to come out of it. And now I have clients coming to me, Kimberly being one of them, who are like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to do retreats, and I want to do them, by the way, internationally. Woo woo. And we're starting to have those conversations again. And I stayed my course, and now I'm reaping the benefit of having done that. But I mean, it's not necessarily a limiting belief. It's like having the belief that you have a gift and you have a mission, and staying true to that, even when the outside world challenges you. That is, I think, really a mindset. That's a mindset mastery right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was good. I want to go back and touch on something really quick that you said. You were at the top of your game. You're kicking ass and taking names in that, and then you decided to switch careers. A lot of women go through that. What helped you reinforce that belief that you could do it? Because a lot of women, that's a scary thing. And they're like, I talk to so many women, as you all know, so many of them have done that, top of their game in any industry, real estate, you name it, whatever. And they're like, nope, I'm done. I'm doing something else now. Happens all the time.
Well, I got really frustrated I loved what I did, and I was really good at it, but I was starting to get very restless. I knew that it wasn't fulfilling me anymore, and I didn't want my boss's job. And I saw my students graduate and go off, and here I was at the top of my game in my mid 40s at that point, and my students who were 25, 28 were graduating and going off to jobs and making more than I was making. So I mean, just all the writing was on the wall, where I was like, oh, hell no, Bucky, I'm not going to do this for much longer. So, and then I was fortuitous, because I think the universe orchestrates anything. Everything rather. I'm one of those people who really believes that doors open for reasons, other doors don't open for reasons, and you are somehow divinely guided to where you end up, whether you realize it or not at the time. And my whole life, I've gone by inspiration. It's how I ended up in San Diego. It's how I ended up changing jobs and going in. It's purely something has inspired me, something has spoken to me, and I have followed it. I don't know how to say that any other way. So there's been something that's kind of showed up in my life that's gotten me excited and inspired. And that's my, now I know to recognize it and pay attention to it, but that's how I'm divinely led, is what grabs my attention. And it grabs my attention in my whole heart space and mind space. And it's just like, boom, it sucks me forward into a vortex. So I love it, of inspiration and enthusiasm and excitement. And sometimes I end up on my butt after that happens, and I'm going, how did I get here and why? But it's like, then you figure out it just got you to that next step, and then you're now going to take the next step. So it's like, it's entirely led by inspiration and intuition.
And it's challenge accepted is what I see it as well. When you fall down, it's a challenge that you accept. And I'm gonna get up and go, keep going. So that's awesome for you. Yay.
Yeah. Two things that you said that are really keys that I want people to touch on is, one, you didn't feel fulfilled. Therefore, you're recognizing something going on the inside. And then you have a divine calling. You're feeling this divine pull to do something else. So really anchor into that and know that there's other things for you. You're being called to another direction and another path. So I love that you said that. Thank you, Tamara.
I think you're being called into your true goddess calling is what I think.
Yeah. Well played.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Lupita, we were talking about, you probably guessed, mindset. Knowing all that you've gone through, and I know you've gone through a lot, what would you say has really helped you with your mindset or beliefs, overcoming them to really keep moving forward?
Having hope, because from all the things that I've endured and been through, I think that hope is what got me through a lot of the stuff. And, to have hope is to also to want to live and to have, all that stuff going on in you. But for me, having the mindset to keep having that hope, even when so much negativity and so much bad stuff was happening in my life. So for me, that that was important for me to always have it, because it was always being taken away from me, and and that was the hard thing for me. So
yeah, because it's when you come to another new challenge, there's always challenges in this journey of life. It's about having something there that helps you walk through that next step, get to that next point.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think having that hope is definitely key. I think it comes down to also what Tamara was saying about mindset, right? It's about having that positivity mindset, because whatever you put your mind to, you're either, right? So you're either, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly.
Either way.
yeah.
So I think your mind and your body will all sync up, and it will follow whichever action you put in, whatever seed you plant in here, the rest of it will follow through. So definitely having that hope, that positive mindset, knowing that, you know what, this is fine. I was kind of like, what's the worst that's going to happen? That's kind of how I see it. You know, it's like, but did I die? No, I'm good.
No. I already hit the worst. So now let's keep going. Let's move forward and hit the best.
Yeah, I love it.
I wanted to mention, Barbie, you mentioned something, and Lupita, I'm curious if this has been true for you in your life as well when you mentioned hope. But, you know, I feel like it's really important to have those people in your life that, like your champions, your cheerleaders, because there will be days, whether it's stuff going on in your business or stuff going on personally, when you lose the hope, you lose the faith, you lose sight of the vision, you lose the optimism or the enthusiasm. And I feel like it's important to have those people in your life who are your champions and your cheerleaders, whether it's relatives or close friends, or a partner, romantic partner, or somebody who's there to like buoy you up and say, you got this. And then sometimes we can do it for ourselves in the mirror, or we have those like little talks before we go on stage, and like, you got this. But it's when there are those moments and those days when you feel like you don't got it. And it's important to have those people who can step in and be like, no, remember, they can like reflect back to you, like all those things that you shared about why you're here and what you're here to do. And they can kind of reflect that back to you. I just feel like that's important to have. So I'm just curious if those people have been important players in your life, because I know that they've been very important players in mine.
My husband, because I was telling him about, oh my God, babe, these women on this goddess are totally different, on a whole different level. And I gotta say that because I was really intimidated by the, like the power that you guys have is totally different. You guys own businesses and all kinds of stuff. And for me, I was like, I don't think I'm like kind of goddess in that level. And my husband's like, excuse me? And my husband's my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter. And he'll bring me back down to, hey, remember what you've done, the power that you have. You have the power to move people. You have the power to inspire people. And then I'm like, okay, I just need you to remind me. Like sometimes I forget these things, and my kids and my husband have always been my cheerleaders, and the ones that always remind me, like, hey, you got something in your heart, and you have that big mouth. They always tell me, and you inspire people, and so that for me, they're very important for me, because I think we should all have people like that.
Yeah. And it's important who you hang out with, because if you don't have those people, if you have people who the older I get, the more judicious I am with like who I spend time with, because it's got to be people that bring my energy up. I can't be, ain't nobody got time for hanging out with people who bring their energy up. And you learn that lesson, I think, somewhere in your 40s, if not in your 50s, you're like, no.
Yeah, I don't got time for that anymore.
I would say I kind of learned that earlier on, more in the 20s.
Go ahead, Barbie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I definitely learned that lesson earlier on, probably even in my 20s. So that's more about quality over quantity, right? Because it's about what are we bringing to each other? What value do we have to share and stuff like that? And it's, like you said, I'm all about a drama-free zone. So there's a little drama here. I'm like, see you later.
Yeah, we've had enough drama in our lives. We don't need more.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to add a little tidbit to that too. I know for myself, there's been moments. We all have the moments like you were talking about, Tamara. And it helps when you have somebody who's your cheerleader, who's going to help you. Because I always say, if you don't have that belief in yourself, borrow somebody else's belief in you to get you through to that next step, get you through to that next level. And then next thing you know, like, oh yeah, why was I thinking like that? I got this, I can do it. And even in those moments, those lulls, you can go, okay, look how much I have done. Look what I've gone through. Look where I've come from. I'm a thriver. I'm no longer even surviving. I'm thriving. And And isn't it funny how those little moments still pop up into our life and you're like, oh, I can't do this. So I love that you brought that up, because it's that hope and it's that belief, borrow somebody else's belief, that really can get us through that next level. Absolutely.
And I love to, and then the way I do that too sometimes is I read what people post about me, or like things that they read, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. It's like I need that little speech to help me, like, you know, like the Rocky song. I need something like that. I need to get motivated sometimes, because, you know, so much bad has going on that you're like, oh, do I want to do this? And so, you know, it causes that little bit of doubt, but then you have to remind yourself, and you have to look around what you created and what you've done, and remember, like, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I can do this. And then if I can't, I have people that are going to help me do this. So,
right.
Yeah. And I want to mention something while I have it in my head, because Lupita, you just touched on it, and so did you, Kimberly. But it's kind of like, I think it's important to take time to recognize our achievements and celebrate them, because I know I get very much in the, and this is, I think, I don't know, maybe we do this a little bit more as women, but it's like, especially women business owners, or, you know, you got a lot going on in life. It's just, you like do, and you're like on to the next and on to the next and on to the next project and on to the next thing. And then it's laundry, and then it's, you know, and it's like, I'm as guilty of anyone is not taking time to really be like, wow, like, look what I've done. Look what I've accomplished. Like, let me do my sleepy happy dance, you know, and celebrate. And so, and so, Kimberly, I love the fact that you're doing a retreat with bringing the goddesses together, because to me, it's a chance to celebrate one another and celebrate and take stock of like our accomplishments. And for most of us, just getting through 2020 unscathed is like worthy of, you know, and we're still here standing. So I just think it's important to, you know, to have the cheerleaders, and it's important to take time to celebrate yourself and celebrate one another, like celebrate our accomplishments, and just because it does give you that like pat on the back of like, yeah, look at what I've done. And I mean, maybe I didn't accomplish goal A, B, and C, but I accomplished D, E, F, G, H, and I, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't have to be something that's completely life altering, just kind of like, as you were touching on, Tamara, as I'm looking at my mug, it says, celebrate the small victories, right?
Yes.
Down to the littlest thing, have a little happy dance, celebrate whatever it is, you know, like, you know, just from big to small, there's always something worth celebrating.
And that will help keep that joy, that helps keep us fulfilled, and it helps us keep going. And we'll have less of those moments of, why am I doing this? Can I do this?
The doubtful moments, the what if. Enough of that. Look what we survived. We've survived all this, just life, period. We can still keep going, and we can still keep pushing, and we still can push each other to be better and to challenge each other, because we always got to keep challenging each other, because that's what makes us better. You know, and we learn from each other. And that's why I always tell people, share your story. It's so important to share your story, because in sharing, we're teaching and we're learning. So that's what I always say.
Yeah. And Kimberly touched on something, which is joy. And I just feel like I know that when I am feeling frustrated with my business, particularly like in my business, it's because I'm not operating from a place of joy. I've like gotten to this place where it's all of a sudden it's the laundry list of to-dos, or it's, you know, the administrative stuff that I don't really enjoy. But I find ways to like bring joy to it. Like I put music on that I really enjoy as I'm doing like tasks that maybe aren't my favorite ones but need to get done. Or, you know, I put on like an inspirational, you know,
sorry,
bless you, like a self-development, you know, kind of tape or something. But it's like, I feel like, you know, it's probably not realistic to be in joy like 24/7, but just when you find yourself super, super frustrated, I find that it's because you've lost touch with joy.
Yeah. Or you've been listening to that little voice. That's why. And it's stop listening to that voice. Listen to the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But those mini celebrations and celebrating what you've accomplished, even some days if it's just getting out of bed, celebrate that. Really, I mean, we all have those days like, no, I just want to lay here. You know, but really in business, celebrating the little ones. I've had a couple of conversations recently, even where people are hitting 6 figures and they're not celebrating that, because they're so busy, like you said, Tamara, the do, what's next. But they didn't even realize they hit it. And you have to really stop and pause so you can go, oh my gosh, I actually accomplished that, because that was a goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, really important.
Yeah.
Important each step of the way. I love that. I love that. It's so good. Woo, so good.
But Lupita, I'm like,
she's always happy. She's always bubbly. I love your energy, Kimberly. Thank you so much for it.
Right? Lots of good vibes. Good.
Yeah.
I know, Lupita, I'm like in awe of what you do, by the way. So, because that to me is,
Thank you.
You are, like I feel like with my retreat platform, like I'm raising the energetic vibration of the planet and changing lives at one level, but you are changing lives at such like a in the trenches, way, in such an like tangible, immediate way with the people that you work with. How did you get into that work? And, how did you get into that work? And I'm just like fascinated to learn a little bit more.
Because that was the best way for me. That's how I came out of my ugliness, out of my gang life, out of my drug life. I went through a program that actually helped me and paid for my education and all that stuff. But what helped me was my background. Everything that I went through, everything that I survived, I was able to connect to these other homeless kids or gangbangers because I had the paperwork. And it wasn't just that I learned it on a book. I lived through it, so I can actually speak on it. And I realized that by having that knowledge, I could actually connect more and actually help them more and show them, hey, look, yeah, I did all this stuff, but look at where I'm at now, and you can do it too. And then for me, it's about inspiring people. Like I said, I share my story for a reason because I want to teach them that you can come out of it. And especially with the kids that I work with, they're so young, and a lot of them have single parent homes or brothers that are in gangs, stuff like that. But I want to teach them, yeah, there's that life, but there's also this where you can make a change. Change in somebody's life by helping them cross the street or do something, because it's always about helping one another. Love thy neighbor, which is a page that I have on Facebook. And so the kids will come up to me, Miss Lupita, guess what I did? I gave all my crayons to my cousin, or like things like that.
Wow.
So we started like giving I call it the trickle effect. That we started teaching them, doesn't that feel good? Don't you feel good in your heart? They're like, yeah, it does. And so to pay back the community that I took so much from, I feel guilty and stuff. To pay back the community that I took so much from, I feel guilty and stuff. But then I did it because I loved it, and I felt good, and I saw the trickle effect that it was helping everybody else. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
love the fact that you were able to help these kids just create that opportunity, or let them see that there is another avenue for them.
Yeah.
That there's a world of possibilities, because a lot of times, sometimes, we do get so tunnel vision, or we just think, well, this is the life and these are the cards I was dealt with, and then just accept it, rather than thinking like, no. This is just where you're starting, but you can go anywhere you want. Mm-hmm.
You have to be around people like that, or else you'll never know that. And that's why I immerse myself in this community, because I was like, no, if nobody's teaching them that, or if nobody's showing them the other side, then how are they going to know?
Right.
So I want them to see the bad, but I also want you to see the good. I want you to, and then you can make a choice. So
yeah, so powerful. Stories matter. We all go through them for reasons, and that's why I always talk about it. It's something that I know for me, it allowed me to go, okay, when I was thanking God for abuse, I'm like, why would I do that? I mean, I was really upset about saying thank you for abuse, and it helped me realize that I'm able to help on such a deeper level of knowing. And like you said, Lupita, it's not just about pages. I didn't go through a textbook. I went through it. And so to really understand that and know how to help somebody else on a different level is completely life-changing for them, because they don't, it's totally life-changing. I love that you guys brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So good.
Yes, it is. You're so happy. I'm happy, but I'm still tired. I'm exhausted.
Girl, I'm really tired. One cup of coffee. I'm tired too, but I love these conversations. I love bringing together brilliant women to share their wisdom. It absolutely just lights me up.
Yeah, I think it also helps all of us too by hearing everybody's, because we all have different stories, and we all touch different things, and so like we still there's that learning thing, that trickle effect. We're all learning from each other, and that's what it should always be about. And I love it that we all have such different backgrounds, that I was like, I never thought I could connect with somebody like you, or I didn't think I would be interested in something, but it is. But that's you'll never know until you come into an experience like this. So I thank you for that. So I appreciate opportunities like this because it says that I'm going to grow and people are going to grow from my experience too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. And you could put a retreat together.
Yeah, right? There you go.
The retreat goddess with us here.
That worked out perfect, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. See? Everything always happens for a reason.
Well, I was just thinking, I don't know what your belief system is, but I feel like sometimes Kimberly, you were talking about like being thankful for abuse and like not only coming to a place of acceptance, but actually realizing that it's part of the path you were meant to walk. If I don't know how to say that a different way, and like Lupita, the path that you walked as well. And I sort of feel like it sometimes happens even at like I feel like again, it depends on what you believe in, but if you believe in like multiple lives, that you sort of come in with a soul pact of what you're going to take on in this life, and then how karmically you're going to turn that around and use it to serve others. Like I just feel like that it's really a statement to both of you for what you've been through, and you having been through particularly rough situations and rough times, and how you've just turned that around so 180 to be able to be of service and to be able to be at a place of acceptance in your heart, because you can't get to a place of service until you're in acceptance in your heart, I think. But it's just beautiful the way we both have done that, and it's just, I think it's a testament to kind of what you were both called to do in this lifetime, that to walk that path and then walk the difficult stuff so that you could then give back in such a big way. Like if you hadn't had those previous experiences, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing right now in the impactful way that you're doing it.
Yeah. I'm grateful, for every moment that I've been through. I'm grateful for every moment. I'm not just saying that I wish it never happened, but I accepted it and I went with it because I took the power away from all the bad stuff, and I said, no, I'm gonna use you now. You used me and you did this to me. Now I'm gonna use you for something good and teach people. Whether we can getting off of drugs, getting off of gangs, being gang raped and all that stuff. No, we're gonna turn this and see how we're survivors, and we will be thriving. We will continue on and be better people. I'm not gonna be this person stuck on the floor that just gives up. And so that was very important. It took me a long time to get there, even with my cancer. Like I finally got it. I got it. I know why God gave me this for a reason, and I'm taking it, and I'm okay with it now. But it takes you a while to accept things like that. I'm sure Kimberly can talk about that too.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. But that's just part of our journey. It's part about it's stepping in and learning to speak your truth, which is always what I talk about. Speak your truth. And sharing out our stories, because when we don't share, we're protecting the other person. We're not enlightening ourselves. We're not helping ourselves out at all, so yeah.
And you're not healing also. I found that it helped me heal. You're not healing and you're not growing, so it's better to stop going against it. Just go with it and find your way and find your peace with it. And it takes time, and and you'll eventually get there. It just takes time, and you have to forgive yourself too. I learned that I had to forgive myself too. I was angry at myself too for being dumb at that time and putting myself in the situation. That's why I always say that I put myself in the situation. So, but it is what it is, and I'm life is good right now. With the things that I do.
Yeah.
No, and I think we have all those moments. At one point, we were all young and naive, right? And we only knew what we knew at that moment. And we all make mistakes one way or another. We make a decision.
We're like, let's pick the hard road.
But it's about owning your story, right? Leading with your light, so you can help others shine too at the same time. And I think that's powerful, and I think it's beautiful just hearing all your stories. So thank you for sharing.
At the end of the day, it always comes back down to mindset and belief.
Yes.
So that's why I always talk about it doesn't matter what your story is. That's why this platform is not industry specific and it's not story specific, because every one of those stories, it always comes back to mindset and belief. And when you can really anchor in on that and learn techniques and tricks and tools, how to help yourself out of it, your life changes. I've always said, change your mindset, change your life. And it's true. Absolutely true. Yeah. I want to go through really quick, and because I like to do this twice with all of you, because I want to make sure people know how to reach out to you, find you, contact you for all your goodies in the world that you offer. So I will come to you, Lupita, here in a second. But Barbie, you have, this is your...
It's my Instagram.
So this is how people can find you, and your website.
Yes. Yeah, so definitely reach out to me on social media. Definitely more active on Instagram. Send me a little DM. I'd love to chat.
Yeah, and then Tamara, this is your website. She will help you with any kind of retreat you want. She's incredible, brilliant. And you even have is it a free retreat thing, or you have some kind of a training they can jump into or something?
It's a little retreat ready assessment that I have. It's actually, if you go to my website, you can find it on there. And so for any of your listeners who may have a business and be interested in exploring if they or their business are kind of retreat ready, it's a chance to kind of do an assessment on where you are in your business. And then there's there's an invitation at the end of that to jump on a call with me, because I love, and you know this, Kimberly, I love talking with people about, you know, the kind of the strategy, the business strategy of how to embed retreats into your business, as much as I like to talk about how you create an amazing, impactful, unforgettable retreat. So I love all of that. I love having those conversations.
Yeah. To me, it's about opportunity. It's another opportunity, an avenue for you to incorporate into your business. And it's also an opportunity of, oh my gosh, I mean, some people don't even realize they can have a retreat to bring together people. And it's really amazing. And then this is they just want to send you a message. This is your email.
That's my email. And I'm an email junkie. I'm on email all the time. So, you know, we all have our preferred platforms. Barbie does Instagram. I'm an email gal. So if you ever want to reach out to me, like I just, you know, ping me on email. That's how you find me.
I love it. And then Lupita, since you wound up coming on, since with your technical difficulties, unfortunately, what can, how can people get a hold of you? What would
through Facebook, through my Facebook page? On through Facebook. That's what I use. That's probably the only thing that I really use is my Facebook page. Okay. And it's either, do you want me to put the name? It's just under Lupita Guadalupe Garcia, the most Mexican name ever.
I'm actually going to pull it up while we're talking, because when technology works, it's fantastic. So I'm going to just kind of grab it.
It's very fantastic. I was like, load. I rebooted I even I borrowed my daughter's laptop so that I was like, I don't want to do it on the phone again. And then it'll be on the phone.
Lupita Gonzalez Garcia. Wow, that is amazing.
So is that it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I grabbed it off your Facebook. And then what was your other Facebook page that you mentioned?
Oh, Love Thy Neighbor. And that's where anybody can go on and request help or post somebody that's asking for help. And I have a big following, so I'll just reach out, hey, look at this person needs this. And sometimes it takes a little while, but for the most part, people are really receptive, because I've been doing this for over 10 years and they know me and they trust me. So we get things done pretty much. And if we can't do it, we'll find somebody else that can do it, you know, because sometimes it's impossible because we don't have the foundation yet. But we'll get there eventually. So,
Lupita, where are you physically located?
Lake Elsinore, California.
Okay.
You're not too far.
Yeah.
I'm in Temecula. So.
Okay, hey.
You're just down the road.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull it up. Hang on. It kind of froze real quick.
And Barbie, where are you?
Temecula.
Oh, you're in Temecula. Okay, and I'm in Oceanside.
Yeah.
I'm in Temecula, Maryland. So interestingly enough, we're all pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
California girls.
That's
right?
Right.
I love it.
Okay, I can't leave it. As expensive as it is, I can't leave it. I don't know what I would do anywhere else.
I know. I got here by looking up. This is no joke. I Googled best weather in the United States, and that's how I ended up in San Diego. I am not even kidding you. That is a true story.
I love that.
That is a true story.
Oh my God.
That is awesome.
Phoenix came in a close second, but I was like, I don't want to live in the desert. It's going to be hot. My hair is going to be I'm just going to be a hot mess all the time. I'll dry out my skin. No way.
Oh yeah, California has always been my home and always will be. Well, I mean, I lived elsewhere, like I've done like Augusta, Georgia. I lived in the UK for a couple of years, but California is home. I had to come back.
That's where the heart is. That's where your heart is. That's mine too.
Yeah, it was the woo-woo that brought me out here. I'm like one half East Coast get her done and one half West Coast woo-woo. So it was the woo-woo side of me that led me out here. Because I lived in Boston for 17 years. So and I lived in Italy for a little while. So I did my overseas stint.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Very cool. Let's go around the table real quick. What is one thing, if somebody was starting out in business, going back to whether it's mindset, belief, or really anchoring in your story, what would you tell them?
Barbie starts.
Okay, sure.
You're next in the Hollywood Squares.
All right. I would tell them to just do it. Again, like really, you have to believe in yourself. You do you and lead with your own light. You have your own story. There's always somebody there that's willing to listen and that could easily relate and that you can help. You are here on this planet for a reason. You have a purpose. And I say, step into that purpose. And I feel you will find joy in that.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm going to take it one step beyond that and very practical, because I'm thinking like, what advice would I have given myself earlier on that would have caused me a lot less, hemorrhaging of time and money. And I would say, get very clear on who you're here to serve and how. Mm-hmm. So who is your target audience? Who's your target audience for what it is that you want to be doing, that product or that service that you're here to bring to the quote unquote marketplace that you want to be putting out in the world? And then how is it that you want to be serving them so that you are using the greatest expression of your gifts and doing what brings you the greatest joy?
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I would add by saying it's okay if you don't have a full plan, because sometimes as you go, you learn, or as you go, things change, because then you realize like, oh, wait a minute, I need to divert it a little bit. So it's okay not to have a full plan as long as you have something to start with, something to so that you can step off and jump and take that dive. But always make sure that you believe in yourself, and when you have those doubtful moments, the people behind you will always be there to remind you and listen to them. Listen to that little voice inside your head. Sometimes you have to listen to that head, because they were like, I should have listened. Listen to it. That's your instinct. That's a woman's instinct. Honestly, It always is right. So, just remember that. It's okay not to have everything planned out, because sometimes things change.
Yeah. And I'm going to add to that myself. It's not about perfection. Perfection is not existent. There is no such thing as perfection. Progress is perfection. I know I'm a recovering perfectionist, because I we think we have to have the perfect website, the perfect branding, just get started. Just do it. Your website, your business is going to evolve anyway. It's going to evolve and grow. What you started with 10 years later, it's going to completely look different anyway. So don't worry about perfect in the now. Just do it now. Start now. And I'm going to go back to what Lupita said. Definitely follow your intuition. All of everything that we said was just so on point. I love it. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. I want to go real quick to our, where is it? I got to find it. Our sponsor real quick. Here we go. And then we will come right back.
Hello, goddesses. Welcome to a Real Bodies Period experience. We're here to help you lose inches and fat cells permanently through my magic wand. In addition is our Sea of Youth supplements, which help with chronic pain and illnesses by reducing inflammation. We strive to help you achieve beauty from the inside out.
Oh my God, we're here having nightmares, so I try to change to that. Megan, sorry.
So
Megan. You're okay. Sorry, guys. She was having a nightmare. She's freaking out. No, sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say too, what she doesn't mention in there is how her product detoxes, and it takes out tons and tons of toxins from your body. And she's really helped people. She's a cancer survivor, and lupus as well.
Oh, is this who you want me to meet?
Yes, that's what I pointed out.
Okay.
Yes, I will give you her information.
No worries.
Yeah, so I want to go back again really quick too, and just give your guys' information. Barbie, this is your .com. This is your website. And what can they find on your website real quick?
No, definitely. They can find additional contact information. So if they want to book a free discovery call for us just to kind of get on the phone together and really talk more about how we can help elevate their brand together, I would love to do that.
I love that. That's awesome. And then this, okay.
Sorry,
Real quick. And then this is your Instagram, which is where you are often.
Yes. Yeah, no, they can definitely find me there, and they can also find some great tips for doing things themselves if they needed to, or, you know, I'm always happy to help.
Awesome. Awesome. And then Tamara.
Yeah, that's my website where they can find that 15-question retreat ready assessment. And there's also information about the courses that I teach and more contact information on there, including what you have next, which I think is my email address. And that's a great way to reach out to me because I'm on email incessantly. So that's a great way to reach me.
I love it. I love it. And then Lupita, this is your Facebook page where they can get a hold of you. I kept finding the wrong Love Thy Neighbor, I think. So can you just post it in the Facebook comments?
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll post it right there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of Love Thy Neighbors, and you have to be really. If you're not in the area of it, it takes you to a different one sometimes. So yeah, I'll post it.
Yeah, that would be great.
And if anybody ever needs help or wants to talk or has somebody that they want us to reach out to, that's what it's about. That's what that page is about. And I'm usually on top of it, even if it's not in our city. We've done bi-coastal stuff. Like we've helped people. We send stuff, I have people that follow me everywhere. So like, trust me, like we get the word out, and a lot of people are responding. People want to help. They just don't have the person to lead them, or they don't know how to help. And so I come in and here's where you can help. Let's go. And if people are interested in that type of thing, then they join, and usually they are. So if anybody knows anybody that needs help, come on down.
Definitely. I love that. And it's so true. People do want to help. There's so many different ways to do that. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words, Barbie?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for this, Kimberly. And it was a pleasure meeting Lupita and Tamara, excuse me, getting over a cold. And, you know, this was a wonderful experience. And I look forward to seeing all the goddesses in person at the retreat.
Yes. Yay.
Yeah, I want to say what she said. I can't wait for the Goddess Retreat. I'm super excited. It's on my calendar. I will be there. And just thank you, Kimberly, for having this platform and for bringing the women together and allowing us to share our stories and our insights. And if we can ever, I think all of us collectively feel if we could ever, you know, buoy somebody up if they're in a dark place, or give them a piece of advice that lands just when they need to hear it. I mean, that's what we are all here to do, and be helpful in whatever way we can. So thank you for providing us with that platform.
Absolutely. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored all of you are here. Lupita,
yes, and then that week, hey, just so you guys know, on the 29th, it's my daughter's birthday. And that's my birthday. And then it's my birthday week. October 9th is that whole week is, you know how you call it, birthday week. And I told my daughter, sorry, honey, I'm going to be gone for your birthday for the first time ever. She's like, it's okay, Mom. But I just want to say thank you for I'm looking forward to the retreat, because it'll be the first time away from the family. Like, not just like, you know, like I got to go to Hawaii, but I have not been away from my family. Like, I've always had my kids with me, and, you know, like, or the husband, but this will be different. But it'll be a good thing. You know, like, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm super excited about it. So thank you very much, Kimberly. We adore you. We love you. And I totally love your energy.
Coaching.com. You can book a call with me and see what else I have in the works as far as what's going on with the Goddess platform. Our book is about to launch here in a couple of months. We've got the editing going on right now, so it's so exciting. So you get to actually jump in, dive in, and read these incredible stories from all of these women. And that's coming up soon. So I'm so excited. Thank you, ladies, for everything, for being on here and sharing all of your wisdom. It's been amazing.
Thank you for giving us the platform and for
Yes,
allowing us
thank
to do
you,
this.
Kimberly.
We're so grateful. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.